Imagine all of your fundamental experiences have been shared with another person, maybe even two. It likely affects the rest of your life, like the way you conduct yourself, your interests, your family, relationships, identity, and pretty much everything else you could imagine. This has been my experience, as well as that of other twins and triplets. I'm Megan Scotty, and you're listening to Wombmates, a series exploring the stories and experiences of being a multiple. What made the most sense to me was to start with my sisters and I. I'm a triplet, and it's me, Megan, Catherine, and Madeline. I'm the oldest, only 2 minutes older than Catherine and 3 minutes older than Madeline. So this is Wombmates, and I'm here with my triplet sisters, Catherine and Madeline, and we're just going to talk a little bit about our relationship with each other because we're triplets, and just experiences we've had, and talk about just everything that comes along with that. So why don't we start off by, I guess, just like introducing ourselves a little bit. So I'm Megan. I go to UNH. We're all 22. We're from the Boston area, and we are 3 girls, as well as having a younger sister, too.
I'm Madeline. I go to Providence College. I'm also 22, and I'm also from the Boston area.
Yep, all of that is true about all of us.
Yes, that is a shared fact.
Yeah, so I'm Catherine. I just graduated from Northeastern and I'm living in LA. So I left my roommates, which I'm very sad about, but my boyfriend is from here. So I chose my boyfriend over my roommates.
I wanted to talk about our unique personalities. I think that we all have very distinct personalities.
Yes.
We've always had, different friends. We've been in different classes since kindergarten. So that, I think, really made the difference in us, doing things separately and not kind of being lumped together as, one person, which sometimes happens with,
That's
twins.
actually a good point. I wouldn't have thought that it was because of the classes, and it definitely isn't all because of the classes, but that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think also growing up, we were lumped together a lot more because we did the same activities. We skated, we went to summer camp together, like it was always the 3 of us. And then I think especially in high school when we kind of branched off into different classes, looking into different schools, and then eventually going to different colleges, I feel like especially then we started getting, or at least I felt like I started getting a lot more questions that were, I guess, different since growing up everybody knew that we were sisters. But when I come here, I feel like all the time I meet someone who doesn't know that I'm a triplet.
Yeah.
So I'm getting kind of a different set of questions, if we look alike.
Yeah.
Which obviously, if it was someone that we knew before, they would know, not really, or why didn't we end up going to the same school? Whereas in high school, it would have been easier to tell just by seeing us all together. You know what I mean? So
right.
I feel like that has changed. And yeah, I think it is it definitely has been weird, not necessarily in a bad way, but kind of, for at least I can only speak for myself, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way, being apart and getting I guess not having people already know that we're sisters.
Yeah, same.
In some way.
I feel like people are always surprised to find out that I'm a triplet whenever, because I don't know, it's not how I introduce myself. I'm not when I'm meeting someone, I don't go, "Hi, I'm Megan and I'm a triplet." So then people are always really surprised if I've known them for a while, because I'll just refer to you guys as my sisters. If ever I bring you up, I'm like, "Oh, my sister, blah blah blah." So it's never "Oh, my triplet sister." So a lot of times
you ever
people don't
brace
realize
yourself for
Yeah.
telling
The
people?
reaction.
Like when you're about to, when your like siblings come up and they say, "Oh, like how many siblings do you have?" And you're like, "Okay, here we go." And then you're like, "I'm a triplet."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everyone's always like,
And then they're like,
"Oh!" Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's always the same kind. It's always just like, who's the oldest? Like, where do they go to school? Do you guys look alike? Like, it's always the same stuff every time, which is funny. Yeah, show me a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the oldest. Obviously, Madeline and Catherine know that. Catherine is in the middle, and Madeline is the youngest.
Megan's the oldest in terms of who came out of the womb first, but in terms of who was in the womb first for longer, she's the youngest.
Yeah, that I don't think is technically true.
It's true.
It's not. We were in vitro. No, let me explain it. Let me explain it. So we're in vitro babies. So that's why there are three of us. Because we were conceived in a petri dish. And so my parents, for a like decent amount, I think last time when I asked mom, I think she said it was like you get your first ultrasound to like, it was at like 4 weeks. She knew that she was having at least you, Catherine.
No, not 4. 4 is way too early.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 is way too early.
No, this is what she told me. She said at 4 weeks, she knew she was having Catherine.
She knew she was pregnant.
She knew she was pregnant with Catherine. And there was a second like embryo that like was kind of flickering in and out of the picture. So they're like, okay, it might be twins. And then I forget the exact time frame, but then for like a while, I think it might have even been like 4 or 5 months or something, they were like, oh yeah, there's this third one too. So you're definitely having twins. But then there's this third one that also keeps coming in and out. And so you're probably only going to have twins.
We don't think anything's going to happen.
Yeah. So my parents thought they were having twins for a while. And then they're like, oh, surprise. Yeah, this third one, she's sticking around. So
they were like, surprise, Shade.
And
because of where we were, like in the ultrasounds and stuff, my mom says that she knows, like she thinks Catherine was the one that was there from day one chilling. Madeline was the one that was like in and out, but then definitely there. And then based on where I was the third one that they weren't sure about.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Catherine likes to think she's the oldest, but I'm the oldest, really.
I'm the oldest.
Do you guys have anything, like, do you think there's anything interesting about our dynamic? Or do you think that there's anything that, like, is different from, I guess, just, like, a normal sibling dynamic or sibling relationship?
I feel like, well, we, I think, like, had to do probably more things together than the average sibling. Like, skating, we always did it at the same time. I just feel like we always kind of, like summer camp, always kind of traveled in a pack. And I feel like that definitely sets us apart, and just being like in the same grade together. Like I feel like in elementary school, like our classes would be like next to each other or whatever. And that isn't always obviously the dynamic that happens with siblings who are in school at the same time. So I think that's something that was unique.
I feel like it made us more like, I think we're good at sharing and we're really considerate of like other people because of being triplets. Like, I feel like that's the one main, I guess, kind of like core value that we all share. And I mean, I think obviously like it has to do with just like mom and dad just teaching us that that's important. But I think also just like because you're spending so much time with another person, sharing so many experiences, like it's easy to like see what it's like, almost how it's affecting another person that's so close to you, just everything you do.
And not expecting like to have something all to yourself.
Right. Like, like share.
Like your birthday.
That was
like I was like, it's my birthday. It's all about me.
Yeah, that's like such a weird concept to me. Is like
when I say like our birthday, people are like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our birthday. Like, it's our birthday. It's
Or
not
like,
Yeah.
remember how awkward it was? Like, it got less awkward at like as we got older, but like when people would like give presents to just one of us. It's
Yeah.
like
was
it
so
was weird when
awkward.
like a friend would just give a present to
Yeah.
just one of us, because then it's like, well, I have two other sisters. It's their birthday too.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on. True. Like you
That's
and
another thing
that's
that's
like
kind
you
of
and Catherine both got invited to uh I'm not gonna say their name, someone's bar mitzvah, and I didn't get
Megan,
invited.
you literally just read my mind. Always invited to like the same
Same
birthday
birthday
parties growing up and like
parties.
everything. We were just like lumped together. And I think that also potentially could be kind of unique, like to us being all girls too. Like if there
True.
was like a boy in the mix, we probably would have been doing a lot different
True.
like
I thought about
activities from
that.
each other.
True.
But I think that because we were all girls, we were like even more so lumped together. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this Scotty girl.
It's just easier, yeah.
Can you
Yeah, if
imagine
I
what a
had
boy would be like?
that would I don't think
Horrific.
I've honestly ever thought about it like in that context
Neither
before.
have I.
Like how our experiences would have been different if we weren't all girls.
It would have been
Because
so weird.
obviously like there are certain things that's like if it's like an all girls birthday party or something, we're all girls, so it's pretty easy to like not have to you don't have to like exclude anyone or be like, okay, well, sorry, their like twin or triplet brother isn't coming to the like sleepover birthday party or something.
Yeah. Those
Let's
Girl Scout cookies?
They're chocolate covered bananas from
Oh,
Trader
I've seen
Joe's,
those. They're
and they're
frozen, right?
so good. Yes.
I tried to go to Trader Joe's like last week, and there was a line that was like 30 people long, and I was like,
No.
it moves
"Wait,
fast though.
It's
There's always a
honestly
line
worth it.
outside the Trader Joe's here. All right. Let's see. Ooh, this is a good question. I feel like I get this question a lot from people about whether or not we're like competitive with each other. And I'm like, no. I think we're
I
pretty,
don't think so."
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think we are either.
Yeah, because
I think that like we've all just like accepted that we're so different that like
Yeah.
there's literally no point. Like what is there to compete about?
That's
Yeah,
what I was gonna say.
exactly.
What are we gonna compete in?
Yeah.
It's not like
Like,
we all play the
and-
same sport, like
yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we also like aren't like jealous of each other.
yeah.
At least
Yeah.
I don't like really feel like
Me either.
jealous of you guys for like whatever. We don't like get jealous of each other's like achievements. We'll just be
Yeah.
like, yes, queen.
And we
Yeah.
like are actually happy for each other.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty sad life if we actually like,
I agree.
got-
That's like a good example. Like Catherine graduated school a semester early, just moved out to California, like into a new apartment, just started a
adult
full-time
now.
job. She's like adulting for real. And like Madeline and I wasn't ever like, oh my God, like I'm so jealous that she's doing this. I was like, aw, good job,
Yeah.
copy.
And then it's like the same thing. Like you guys are having fun in college.
Yeah.
And like enjoying your time. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's like a different path
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Everybody's
we
just
like
pretty
I feel
different.
like people always ask me too, even like with like school and like applying to schools, like were you guys like ever gonna go to the same school? And I was like, not really.
Yeah, I think just since we've always had pretty different interests and always had different friends for the most part and just done our own thing, like it's never been a competition and it's never been
And even we've just been very different students too.
yeah, exactly.
Like so we weren't even really looking at the same, which is funny like when you consider like obviously we have so many similarities like the way we grew up, and obviously we always went to the same schools, but yet we still are very, very different in a lot of ways.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like an interesting, I think like in our case, it's thinking about like nature versus nurture is really interesting because we are just so different, but we've had so many of the same experiences.
Yeah, I've thought
Yeah.
about that.
What do you think are the things that we share, like the traits we have the most in common and the traits that are the most different between all of us?
I think kind of like how you touched on before, like I think that we share a lot of the same values, which like kind
Yeah.
of encompasses a lot of how we are as people.
Yeah.
How
we treat other people.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say like as a humble brag, I think that we all turned out pretty good. And that we all like for the most part are like have been like good friends to our friends and like care about other people. And I think that that is something that's like a huge similarity between the three of us.
Yeah.
But I think that I mean like Catherine has always been like so organized and like just
literally
plan driven, and like when we were even like 3, I remember her like just cleaning our entire room and like getting mad when I would like go and play with the dollhouse, and I was like, I literally don't know what you I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm 3, obviously I'm gonna play with the dollhouse. And
Catherine would put on her business lady suits and like walk around the house with a briefcase at like 4 years old.
So like we all knew Catherine was like, okay, I'm gonna go to law school.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I kind of hate that though.
So that's like Catherine in a nutshell. And
no,
I think Megan,
that's not me though.
That's not you in a nutshell.
It is, but it has so like a lot to do with who you are. No, you're not boring.
That's
just like funny. It builds character.
Silly.
Yeah, no, Catherine's funny because she can be really silly. And Catherine, I think, Catherine, one of her best qualities is good nicknames. Like they never make sense, but they're always really good.
Gil.
Yeah.
Gil. That's girl said by someone who couldn't say their R's, and I just use it all the time now. Hey, Gil.
Like Sam's dog.
I called Donovan Mr. Lovington.
Mr. what?
Mr. what?
Mr. Lovington.
Mr. Lovington? Like, it's always stuff like that. I'm like, where do you even come up with that? Like,
and
what?
That's so
the
formal.
First few times I said
Lovington.
He was like, what? And I'm just like, hey, Mr. Lovington. What's up, Mr. Lovington?
You're such a weirdo.
I know.
I think you should call him like Prince Lovington or like Duke Lovington.
Sir Lovington.
Duke Lovington.
Duke Lovington.
Of San Diego, California.
Oh, he's doing something. But anyways, sorry.
So
I'm not boring. I'm not boring.
No, you're not. We know you're not.
But
I think
that was just what. Yeah, I know. That was just what like set you apart from us from such an early age. Like that was always like something that was just you.
That's true.
And then Megan's always been like a free spirit. Like when I think of Megan, like when we were younger, I think of her in this very specific. Well, she always had bangs, and
my crazy outfits.
Multiple
patterns.
Like
the specific outfit of like a purple and green striped shirt that was like horizontal stripes, and then green pants with purple polka dots.
I mean, the colors matched.
But like she would wear them together, and even at the time, I remember thinking, Megan, that is not a fit. And then, but now
I put that on now, and I'd be like, that's a fit.
No, I was just gonna say, I feel like you'd wear that now. Like your style is so different. I feel like you just like, even when we were like obviously little, like you were the only blonde one, and you don't really look like us. So I think that you kind of took that and ran with it, and like your whole life
definitely
has been
internalized that. Madeline was always into like I feel like you were always a girly girl. Like I feel like
and Madeline knows
first grade with her emergency haircut. She had an emergency haircut.
I forgot about that.
Just like
I had
different
this like, little bag.
Yeah.
That had like a bunch of like scrunchies and elastics and like a hairbrush and like headbands that I would like
And
ring
in
with me. That
second
was my
grade, like
emergency haircut.
in
You're always
second
like
grade,
into makeup.
your friend had
Mhm.
glasses, so like you wanted glasses, and
Yeah.
then
And
you
I faked
became
my
friends.
eye test at school.
Yeah,
To try
I
and get
pretended like I couldn't
glasses.
read.
that's
And then I
hilarious.
went, and then Mom had to take me to the eye doctors, and they were like, "You can see."
I
Anyway,
forgot about that. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever said
Madeline is
glasses to
always, you've
anyone.
always been like very particular. Like you like things, I feel like you, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but like you're stubborn about just like the way you're particular. Like you like things done your way, and like you're like driven, and you're gonna make it happen if you can.
I feel like I'm like visually particular.
Yeah,
like with projects,
yeah.
I like things to look a certain
true.
way.
Yeah, you always
also,
had neat handwriting.
Yeah.
I have neat
Yeah, you're just like
handwriting.
girly and neat, and you like things to look a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I think is funny that I've gotten this a few times. They're like, did you ever fight over boys?
No.
And I'm like,
No.
Oh, except
no.
for Christopher in preschool, Madeline.
No, we never fought over boys.
Yeah,
for the
no.
most part. Except for
Clearly.
Christopher. Catherine's still upset about it. Meanwhile, she's like in a relationship, but
Meanwhile, she's living
I'm the
with her
single
boy.
one.
She's living with Mr. Lovington.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I don't think Madeline or I could ever date Donovan.
You'd murder him.
Yeah, I think I would. No offense, Donovan. I love you very
He
much.
can't hear you.
Yeah, and we have a younger sister too. Aw, look how
Aw.
cute she is. Catherine's pulling up a baby picture of her right now. She looks really cute.
She was a really cute baby.
She was.
I
Yeah,
wish I
Lily
could-
was, because we were almost 10 when Lily was born. And she's our only other sibling. So that's always been really interesting because one, we're triplets, so we already have this really strong like connection as siblings, but also she's so much younger than us that it's like almost I don't know, like I don't feel like we have the typical sibling relationship. I feel like we're almost just like we're kind of like other moms too in a weird way.
Yeah.
Anyone have any closing remarks?
No.
I would just say that I think that growing up like with triplets is obviously unique.
Yes.
But I think that it is like we are able to be so independent that it isn't like who we are as a person. Like we were saying earlier, like people find out that we're triplets or that we, whatever, and they're like, "Oh my God," like whatever. So I feel like it's like something really cool and unique about us, and it definitely obviously has shaped us into who we are. But we're still our own people.
I agree.
Yeah,
True.
that's all. That's
Yeah.
it.
And we're Wombmates. At the end of the day, we're Wombmates. We shared a womb for almost 9 months.
Yeah.
And they were roommates. Oh my God, they were roommates.